There are so many joyful moments that I can think of at night, and I think about the times when the mothers, one by one, would come to the front door and yell out, "All the Jorgensens have to come in." And then you'd see little groups scatter off and go into the houses, and then this mother would go out and say, "All the Ashtons have to come in," and the kids would come in. All the adults knew that what was going on out there was really magic and really important, and it was some of the best moments of childhood. And you learn how to be creative. You make your own universe. Welcome home. We're so thrilled to have you with us today. The other night, probably about 8:30 at night, there was a huge group of children out on the grass, and the children were laughing and playing and running and rejoicing in the fact that they were going to have a whole summer to play. Now, I have two play experts. This is Stephen, who is the father of 8 children, and this is Adam, who is the father of 7 children. They knew how to play when they were young men growing up. But not only that, I want you to know that they have some expertise that would be surprising to you.
For my education, I, for a master's and doctorate, did what's called instructional design. And so with that, you learn how to design any kind of instructional material or program. And a part of that, with my role right now, I'm a senior director of a museum experience. And we're really serious about play.
It's easy for moms and dads to get so involved in the business of life that we forget that a lot of what children are learning, they're learning through play.
I got a Master's of Education degree from Harvard University, Harvard's Graduate School of Education, and did an internship there with a group called the Pedagogy of Play, which was studying how to, on purpose, use play to teach in our elementary schools.
The big question is, why is play important? I'm not talking about the structured play that we do so much of. I want to talk about where they are just free to go outside. Why is that kind of play important? You two experts?
The things we want for our kids, the things we want, the characteristics we want them to develop, they begin developing first through play. If we want them to be not anxious, if we want them to be brave and courageous, if we want them to experiment, if we want them to be kind, if we want them to take turns, those are the things they do as they play. And playing with us, we kind of guide them into what this looks like, and they learn it from us, and then they get to practice it on their own. So, treating people nicely. If you don't want to play, you don't have to play, or if someone's not treating you well, you don't play.
Sometimes we try to manage that.
Yeah.
We try to put our hand in and make sure that everything turns out just great. But don't kids kind of socialize each other? They kind of bump against each other, and they learn some pretty valuable lessons.
In 5th grade, there was one boy who wouldn't get out. He would call everything unfair. And there's a big long of people wanting to play Foursquare, and they have all these great rules, but he would use those rules and say, "I'm not out because you played unfairly," which of course drove every kid crazy. And so every kid targeted that child to try to show him, you can't always be in. You are out. You are legitimately out. One of the teachers drew all the kids in and said, okay, we need to finalize the rules in Foursquare. And so we listened to his side of the story, and so the teacher determined for everyone, okay, 5th grade, if you want to still play Foursquare, then there are no cheap shots, chicken legs, cherry bombs, snake eyes, and I'm just biting my tongue, trying not to laugh. I love all of these names and these rules that these kids have come up with, but at the same time I'm thinking, we've got it all wrong. What these kids are doing is really important, showing this other child, you've got to get out sometimes.
Like, that's one of the great benefits of play, is that you're learning to engage and problem solve and communicate in a way that's safe, but also in a way that matters. When you start to play a game, sometimes you'll make up rules as you go along. and it doesn't work, so you make another rule.
You switch the rules.
And it's very okay to do that. Adam and I
are making up rules.
We're big fans of Calvin and Hobbes, the comic. And there's Calvin and Hobbes would play a game called Calvin Ball. And the rules were that there are no rules.
Can't have any rules.
Yeah, so as they would go along, and then of course they'd make rules as they go, and it would often fluster Calvin. But that's what I love. I love when we play games together, and as we're playing, we figure out, okay, this isn't quite working. Or there's a little kid here, so we've got to make an adjustment to the rules so this kid can play with us.
When we went one time to Goblin Valley and we played amongst the hoodoos, we were playing a tag game, and it was fun, but it became a lot more fun when the little kids who couldn't run as fast as the adults got foam swords. And all they needed to do was touch you with their foam sword, and you were frozen for 5 seconds. It totally advantaged the little kids. Suddenly the kids are the more powerful ones in this game.
That is one of the most exciting things about letting them have an unstructured play, is that they can be the most powerful ones. Do you know, I think it's a temptation as a parent right now that when we get in the car or we're headed somewhere, in order to keep people pacified and doing all right, we just give them a screen so we know they're going to be okay. And I think sometimes in the car that's okay, but at home, when they're edgy and they're feeling like they need something, they probably need to get outside and play. So don't use the screen as a way of pacifying them. Get them outside.
So I had to preface it. I love video games, and I enjoy playing video games with my kids, and they like video games too. But there is a time when you've got to say, you got to get off of the screen. You've got to go be active and be outside. Be active. Go get dirty. I like that with the devices nowadays. You can set the limits, and when they reach the limit, sorry, that's it. Your time's up.
Yeah.
Looks like you have to go outside and play.
Yeah, and they love it in the end. They really do. If you can manage it this summer, we would like to say, try to give them some time for unstructured, wonderful play. Make it happen and enjoy each other's lives. Have a great day and a wonderful summer. I'm crazy about you. Wasn't that fun today? Wasn't it great to think about all the fun games and times you can spend with your family? If you know someone who would laugh over this video and who might say, yeah, let's keep playing games, please share it with them. Please share it with them, because I'm crazy about you. And home is the best place to be, especially if you play games together.